If of them I should ask, how comes it that such opinions are held concerning the Holy One, whose ways you take upon you to set forth? I should be met by most with the answer, these are the things he tells us himself in his word. We have learned them from the Scriptures. By many with explanations which seem to them so to explain the things that they are no longer to be reprobated. And by others with the remark that better ideas, though largely held, had not yet had time to show themselves as the belief of the thinkers of the nation. Of those whose presentation of Christian doctrine is represented in the quotation above, there are two classes, such as are content it should be so, and such to whom those things are grievous, but who do not see how to get rid of them. To the latter it may be some little comfort to have one who has studied the New Testament for many years, and loves it beyond the power of speech to express, declare to them his conviction that there is not an atom of such teaching in the whole lovely divine utterance; that such things are all and altogether the invention of men, honest invention in part at least, I grant, but yet not true. Thank God, we are nowise bound to accept any man's explanation of God's ways and God's doings, however good the man may be, if it do not commend itself to our conscience. The man's conscience may be a better conscience than ours, and his judgment clearer. Nothing the more can we accept while we cannot see good. To do so would be to sin. But it is by no means my object to set forth what I believe or do not believe. A time may come for that. My design is now very different indeed. I desire to address those who call themselves Christians, and expostulate with them thus: whatever be your opinions on the greatest of all subjects, is it well that the impression with regard to Christianity made upon your generation should be that of your opinions, and not of something beyond opinion? Is Christianity capable of being represented by opinion, even the best? If it were, how many of us are such as God would choose to represent his thoughts and intents by our opinions concerning them? Who is there of his friends whom any thoughtful man would depute to represent his thoughts to his fellows? If you answer, the opinions I hold, and by which I represent Christianity, are those of the Bible, I reply that none can understand, still less represent the opinions of another, but such as are of the same mind with him; certainly none who mistake his whole scope and intent, so far as in supposing opinion to be the object of any writer in the Bible. Is Christianity a system of articles of belief, let them be correct as language can give them? Never. So far am I from believing it, that I would rather have a man holding, as numbers of you do, what seem to me the most obnoxious untruths, opinions the most irreverent and gross, if at the same time he lived in the faith of the Son of God, that is, trusted in God as the Son of God trusted in him, than I would have a man with every one of whose formulas of belief I utterly coincided, but who knew nothing of a daily life and walk with God. The one, holding doctrines of devils, is yet a child of God. The other, holding the doctrines of Christ and his apostles, is of the world, yea, of the devil. How? A man hold the doctrine of devils, and yet be of God? Yes, for to hold a thing with the intellect is not to believe it. A man's real belief is that which he lives by, and that which the man I mean lives by is the love of God, and obedience to his law, so far as he has recognized it. Those hideous doctrines are outside of him. He thinks they are inside, but no matter. They are not true, and they cannot really be inside any good man. They are sadly within him, for he cannot love to dwell upon any of those supposed characteristics of his God. He acts and lives, nevertheless, in a measure like the true God. What a man believes is the thing he does. This man would shrink with loathing from actions such as he thinks God justified in doing. Like God, he loves and helps and saves. Will the living God let such a man's opinions damn him? No more than he will let the correct opinions of another, who lives for himself, save him. The best salvation even the latter could give would be but damnation.